Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with good news. Brian Kemp has gone mega, yes, in the state of Georgia. No, do I actually think he's gone mega permanently? No, but he did go mega for this decision. And I think the real reason behind this is because Brian Kemp is trying to plan a run for the U.S. Senate, so he's trying to curry favor. But nonetheless, we are benefiting big time from this decision. And this out of the AP, listen to this headline. Kemp signs Georgia law reviving prosecutor sanctions panel. Democrats fear it's aimed at Fani Willis. Okay, well, here's the problem with that. It's not just aimed at Fani Willis. There's a problem with corrupt prosecutors all throughout the nation, and certainly within Georgia, that were basically lofted to their position by George Soros. So here we go. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed a law Wednesday that lets a state commission begin operating with powers to discipline and remove prosecutors, potentially disrupting Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's prosecution of former President Donald Trump. Well, obviously her head should be on the chopping block since Judge McAfee can't seem to make a right decision. The legislation will help us ensure rogue and incompetent prosecutors are held accountable if they refuse to uphold the law, Kemp said before signing the bill, flanked by Republican legislative leaders. As we know all too well, crime has been on the rise across the country and is especially prevalent in cities where prosecutors are giving criminals a free pass or failing to put them behind bars due to lack of professional conduct. It gets better. Though Kemp signed legislation last year creating the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualifications Commission, it was unable to begin operating after the state Supreme Court refused to approve rules governing its conduct. The justices said they had grave doubts. This is the bar lining up behind other bar members to protect them. Make no mistake, that's what's going on here. But this could go down differently. About their ability to regulate the duties of district attorneys beyond the practice of law. Tuesday's measure removes the requirement for Supreme Court approval. The measure is likely to face renewed legal challenges. 4 district attorneys dropped their previous lawsuit challenging the commission after the Supreme Court set it aside. The law would require district attorneys and solicitors general who prosecute lower-level cases in some counties to evaluate each case on its own instead of declining to prosecute classes of offenses. This is a big deal. So let me explain what they're saying here. So you have to now, as a prosecuting attorney, look at the individual case. You can't just say, we're not going to prosecute gun felons, for example, okay? Because we all know that they always talk about gun control, but we know what gun control is. It's a steady hand and a good eye, folks. But no, when they talk about gun control, what they're talking about is removing guns from law-abiding citizens instead of actually prosecuting gun criminals, because they're not doing that. Okay? If they were prosecuting gun criminals, we wouldn't have as much gun crime. So another instance would be, well, we're a sanctuary city, so we're just going to avoid federal immigration law. And that would be a whole class of crimes that they are not going to prosecute. So this is what's interesting. Opponents say it would mean prosecutors couldn't use their discretion. No, that's BS. They can still use their discretion on an individual case basis, which is where prosecutorial discretion was always used in the past. But that changed during the Obama years with Eric Holder and his Justice Department, where they completely upended our prosecutorial system and our nation of laws, because we keep hearing we're a nation of laws. No one is above the law. But that's not true, because they have proven themselves to be liars on this. Republican House Speaker John Burns of Newington said the House's efforts have not been directly aimed at Willis, who is already facing an effort in court to have her removed from the Trump prosecution. We know that, of course, failed over the romantic relationship we had with the special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. Republicans cited other instances of alleged prosecutor misconduct, including occasions in the past when Democrats supported the idea of a prosecutor oversight panel after the killing of a black man, Ahmaud Arbery, near Brunswick. Isn't this interesting? So Democrats actually wanted a panel to oversee prosecutor conduct after Ahmaud Arbery was killed. But now they're not so sure, because this could work against Fani Willis. Are you seeing how this works? For us in the House, our focus is not any one person, not on any one situation. Burns told reporters after the law was signed. It's about asking the folks that are elected, just like me, to do their jobs and protect the citizens of this state. Because, as we know, prosecutors are not protecting the citizens of their state. They're not prosecuting real crime. And this is all part of the globalist New World Order plan. This is why George Soros is funding all these people to cause chaos and division in the United States of America, because they cannot take it down from without, so they have to take it down from within. That is what's going on. But Democrats say Republicans are trying to override the will of Democratic voters and are inviting abuse by creating a commission without some other body reviewing its rules. Now, what's interesting about this, I want you to think about this. Override the will of Democratic voters. If they're so concerned about the will of Democratic voters in the state of Georgia, why do they want to hide the paper ballots from us? Why shouldn't we be able to look at that? These are just questions that inquiring minds want to know. The law was enacted even as the state Senate has created a special investigative committee that Republicans say will be used to probe whether Willis has used state money to benefit herself by employing attorney Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor, right? But of course, we know that Judge McAfee can't seem to make a proper ruling there because, the evidence was too good. Willis and Wade both testified last month that they had engaged in the affair, but they rejected the idea that Willis improperly benefited from it as lawyers for Trump and some of his co-defendants allege. No, because people, I want you to know, Fani Willis paid everything back. It's all, well, it's not on the record because it was all in cash, okay? McAfee on Wednesday dismissed some of the charges against Trump, and I hope you guys saw that, because this case with Fani Willis is effectively dead. You need to understand that, okay? Because McAfee, I think what he did here, just hear me out on this. I don't think he made the right decision. That's not what I'm saying. But he dismissed 6 of the charges against Trump. The big one saying that the phone call with Raffensperger, that's out. That's what their whole case hinged on. Then on top of that, Nathan Wade gets removed from the case. Nathan Wade's removal and the delay of almost a month that occurred as he waited to hear the arguments about getting them removed have effectively removed that case from this election cycle. And then on top of that, it appears that they're not going to be able to get the ruling they want because 6 of those charges were removed. I think McAfee is playing a political game because he suddenly got a challenger in the election down there. I'm not saying it's right, but I am telling you that their case is effectively dead against Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump wins the election in November, what the heck are they going to do then? Georgia is one of multiple attempts nationwide by Republicans to control prosecutors they don't like. This is out of the AP. Listen to how they phrase that again. Georgia's law is one of multiple attempts nationwide by Republicans to control prosecutors they don't like. Republicans have invade against progressive prosecutors after some have brought fewer drug possession cases and sought shorter prison sentences, arguing Democrats are coddling criminals. Yes, and also cashless bail. And again, let's talk about gun laws. The fact that they won't prosecute actual gun crimes shows that they are not serious about guns at all, okay? They just want to take them from us, the law-abiding citizens who aren't breaking the laws with our guns. That's who they want to take guns from. Democrats are the most disingenuous, and it's not just Democrats. Let's just stop the whole Democrats versus Republicans. We are now at the stage of tyranny versus freedom. That's what we are seeing. And the Second Amendment is by far and away our greatest measure to prevent tyranny. Don't ever forget it. Go check out my sponsor, Midas Gold, MidasGoldGroup.com. Or call 480-360-3000. If you mention me, you will get free silver with a qualifying order. You can also text Lumberjack to 232-425. I encourage you to get some real money in these turbulent times. I get a little every month. It's just my fail-safe in case this whole system comes crashing down, which it very well could. See you on the next episode. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.